are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we're the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making Locked On Rays your first listen every day. And remember, Locked On Rays is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube at Locked On Rays. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Rays, and you can email us anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com. We do hope to do a mailbag episode in the near future, so send us your questions, comments, concerns, lockedonrays@gmail.com, or you can send us a DM on Twitter or Instagram.
By the way, I want to say to the people that have already emailed us and DM'd us, we got you. You guys are on the docket.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Next week, right?
That's going to happen, yeah. So that should be fun. We've got a lot of really cool, interesting ideas. I'm going to shout out Austin Holloway because he gave us a really good idea to do on the show. We will. So they're on the docket, but keep them coming because this lockout, it doesn't seem like it's going to end anytime soon.
So you're not, you're still sticking with the 120 game season.
Yeah, it's 120.
I'm still at 140.
Okay, that's fair.
The fact that the players have said we're amenable to the 14-team playoff gets me worked up, gets me riled up. I think the league is okay with missing the month of April.
Yes.
But once you get to May, it's like, okay, now we got to get something going here. Look,
to
if
that
I
point,
had my druthers, I would prefer every MLB season to start on Memorial Day weekend.
To your point, I also get worried when I hear guys like Colin Poche, who hasn't pitched since 2019, saying stuff like, I want to get on the field. I would really like this, but this fight is bigger than all of us individually, and we have to fight for the younger generation. Like, that lets me know everybody in. Everybody holds in, hands in, everybody. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, lockout.
For right now.
There you go.
March,
we'll see.
Wait till they start missing paychecks.
We'll see.
You don't get paid in spring training.
We'll see, baby. We'll see. Yeah, but again, there's a war chest. There's an MLBPA war chest. Might not be what they're used to, but it's there.
Fair. And also, aren't the owners incentivized to get a 140-game season in because of the
something like that
television
25,
revenue?
Right? So like 25 less than 162, so something like that. Yeah, 137. They cannot have less than 137 because then they have to pay back.
So it's got to be at least 137.
Yes.
They're going to be playing this year.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
All right. That's our lockout update of the day. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed that. All right. We're done for the day. Yesterday, we did team defense rankings for 2022 within the AL East. Today, we're just moving down the line. Manager rankings in the AL East. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ulises, I have a premonition that our 5 through 1 are going to be identical.
Oh, you're putting that on the table. Okay. I like it.
Yes.
I don't know if that's going to be the case, but we'll see.
Okay.
My number 5, let's get started. My number 5 is unfortunate because this sucks, man. Brandon Hyde can't help.
He's got a crap roster.
What is he going to do?
No.
And so it sucks to put this guy.
Although Kevin Cash won 90 games with that 2018 team, but
that was a talented young team, albeit a young team.
They had 3 talented players.
No, they had way more. Get the heck out of here.
Blake Snell, that's it.
Oh my God, get out of here.
Offensively,
Wilson Ramos was an all-star that year. I mean,
okay, that's 2 guys.
You had half a season of Tommy Pham.
You're really picking at straws right now.
I mean, I'm telling you.
Half a season of Tommy Pham.
Half a season of Brendan Lau. Half a season of Willie Adames. It wasn't a bad team. It was great young team.
It was a team that if you look at that roster, you would say, yeah, this team probably won 79 games.
I think that is a very gray way of looking at the 2018 team. But regardless, Brandon Hyde is our number 5 manager. I'm supposing, and it's not fair. It's not fair.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is. So we agree, right? He's number 5?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 4, I am going to get a big slice of pizza with Aaron Boone because he's number 4 on my list.
He is number 4 on my list as well.
Savages in the box and tirades aside. Look, man, when you have a budget of $207 million and you can't make it work, when you have Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge, I understand they get hurt, whatever, but my man, you need to pull that clubhouse in a better way. If you've got Brett Gardner being more of a leader and also clowning Garrett Cole in the clubhouse, like that clubhouse seems like it's kind of a mess from the outside.
Yeah, and he doesn't seem to keep his composure very well. And I get it. It's a very tough media market. And in one sense, Brandon Hyde has an impossible job. In another sense, Aaron Boone, I know we can talk about the inflated payroll, but those egos in that market, in that organization, it's not tough to manage in that environment. But still, I got to put him 4.
With the Yankee DNA, honestly, I think a guy more like Joe Girardi suits the Yankees.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, isn't every offseason like, well, are they going to fire Boone?
That's what almost happened last season. And they were like, no, actually, we're going to renew his contract for a couple more years. So that's what happened. So he's going to be there for a while.
He's my number 4.
He's my number 4. Okay, moving right on up. We're doing this quite quickly. Number 3 on my list. He was a guy I rooted for, and I still will root for. Because Charlie Montoya was a big old Rays fan for a long time, big Rays guy in the organization. What he did with the 2021 team was akin to the 2018 cash of the Rays, which he was there for that, by the way.
Yes.
So 2021, he showed that he could do that at the helm. I think that's a very talented team, maybe even more talented than that 2018 team, but young and they don't know the pressures of the game still. I mean, they just don't. So I think that was really impressive. Maybe even the 2020 season was even more impressive, honestly. But you've seen the projection going up and up with this Blue Jays team, which we kind of expect because the talent is there to go up and up and up. But sometimes the manager can affect that more negatively than positively. And the fact that it keeps rising up means that he's doing his job.
I agree. He is also my number 3. And you look at what he did last year, didn't the Blue Jays have to play? Or, well, they don't have a home. They didn't have a home. They haven't had a home for the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So being able to navigate that, man, I'm losing my memory right now. But didn't last year they go from Dunedin to Buffalo, then to Toronto?
Yes, they did, Kevin.
Yeah, that's tough to manage. And also, look, and I know it's his coaching staff and the development and analytics team, but Robbie Ray had a year with the Blue Jays. Steven Matz had a year with the Blue Jays. So, yes, extremely, extremely talented roster, also a young roster, but also adversity with kind of being unhoused in a way. So I'm not a big fan of the whole Ryan Baraki, how that unfolded, but I'll ignore that for now and put Charlie Montoya as my number 3. And plus, I mean, coming from the Rays organization, you got to give him a little bit of a boost with that anyway.
And I love the fact that you mentioned the adversity aspect with them, because I know we're not in Toronto, and so we don't get a lot of Toronto Blue Jays news, but being a division rival, you do get bits and pieces to make a better picture than other teams. Never once did I hear any of the Blue Jays players saying, well, yeah, we have it really tough because we've been going from Dunedin to Salem to Buffalo to Toronto. Never heard that. Never heard that. And that comes from the top. We're not going to complain. Yeah, we're not going to complain. We're going to show up. We're going to do our jobs. And that's it. That's what we're going to do.
Yes. Before we get to numbers 2 and 1, we got to tell you about BetOnline. BetOnline remains the best spot for all your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline.net is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds right to the Olympic coverage and information. We're talking about odds, totals, player performance props, all that good stuff. So head over to their website today or use that mobile device of yours to learn more about the trends and action. BetOnline. It is where the game starts.
Number two.
Number two.
I don't like this guy.
Kevin Cash. Kevin Crash.
I don't like this guy. Yeah, like we grade both of them.
It's like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
It's
Alex Cora for my number two, Kevin.
No.
I know. Who could have ever seen that coming, right? Alex Cora, I think strategically speaking, he knows the game of baseball.
Yeah.
He is a guy who is able to confront that very tough market, which it is. Boston's a very tough market, and he apparently just glides through. They love him. Obviously,
Yes.
That's going to happen when you get a World Series trophy on your first try. That's about it. I don't want to really paint this man with roses because he also basically created a cheating scheme with the Astros. So that's enough of that.
Let me say this about Alex Cora. He is also my number two, but is it fair to say that he outmanaged and outmaneuvered Kevin Cash in the playoffs?
I think that's a very fair thing to say.
Alex Cora, like you, he's my number two. I'm not a fan of him, but I respect what he did with the Red Sox last season, and I respect what he's probably going to do in the future with them. You just look at leading that team who we thought the Red Sox are going to be crap this year, and they went on to win 92 games, falling just short of the World Series. And that was a team that was battered by COVID-19 as well at times. And they were missing Chris Sale for most of the season. So, yeah, he's pretty darn good. And I think the Red Sox have invested in that because I think he's making like $8 million a year. He's making an unbelievable amount of money for a manager.
Yeah.
Because every other manager makes like what? $1 to $2 million?
I think
$3 million?
I think the highest paid manager right now is Joe Madden with the Angels.
Okay.
He might be top three. Cora, yeah.
But in the AL East, like Aaron Boone's not making that much money.
No. I think Cora makes the most money out of the division.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're paying.
And that tells me that they really, really like him, obviously, and they see a little bit of maybe managers might be worth more than what the average person out there thinks. Maybe they are worth a really good one who fits an organization is worth 2 or 3 wins per season. I don't know if I buy the idea that, a great manager is worth an extra 8 to 10 wins. If that was the case, wouldn't they be making a, $30 million salary per year? But I think that a manager worth about 2 wins, 3 wins, maybe, then $8 million, I can get on board with that, I suppose.
Kind of like I mentioned before with Charlie Montoya, just get out of the player's way. Yeah, I think that's a really good managing style. Also, your team is to manage the clubhouse as well. Make sure people are doing their jobs. No acrimonious relationships. I think that's really good. And that's why, because that's a very big thing and keep the clubhouse loose, Kevin Cash is number one. Because it does seem like this guy will, have jokes with the players. Everybody has an actual personal relationship with Cash.
He's one of the guys.
He's one of the guys.
Can hang. And he can blend in.
And that helps, his age also helps. He might have been playing his last days with, rookies, maybe not anymore because Kevin Kiermaier is the long-standing guy at 2013.
Right.
And I think Cash maybe retired in like 2010. So that's not that far away. Yeah. He's still there with the game. So I think you can give him the props for being number one. But I will say this, very good point. I do think Alex Cora did outmanage Kevin Cash in the playoffs.
But having said that, we look at Kevin Cash and his history the last handful of years with the Rays, and we know the whole deal with the payroll lack thereof and the ever-changing roster and getting guys to buy into particular roles and maybe having to step back on playing time for what's best for the team. And he navigates that and handles that extremely, extremely well.
How do you tell G Montoya, hey, you're going to do half the playing time here, right? He has to tell that. How does that work well? And when Aaron Boone says to Luke Voigt, hey, I need you to play a little bit less because we're going to put Anthony Rizzo there. Do you see the difference there of why the rankings are different between Aaron Boone and, I mean,
it blew up Aaron Boone's face and the Yankees' face when Luke Voigt was like, no, I don't really want to do that. And it became a huge headline in the Daily News and the New York Post.
So you got to learn how to manage that clubhouse. That's number one.
Now, maybe some of that is the fact that
the media market.
Yes. All you're dealing with is Topkin, and he's a press release regurgitator. So you don't have the bulldog reporters of those,
which we should have, man. I would love to be a part of that.
Bay, that's who it is.
Yeah, exactly.
D-Ray's Bay.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe we're the bulldog reporters.
Hey,
but they don't let us in the Zoom calls. So
for now, Kevin, but when they do, buddy,
I really don't have an interest in joining those.
But when they do, Kevin, that's our list, man.
Yeah,
we were right. You were right. We both had the correct or the same ranking.
Brandon Hyde 5, Aaron Boone 4, Charlie Montoya 3, Alex Cora 2, and Kevin Cash 1.
Mm-hmm.
I'll also say this about Kevin Cash is, I mean, you've got to be able to do this if you're going to have a 100-win season and make the playoffs year in and year out consistently the last several years. But I think another thing that doesn't get talked about as much is these young players that he has to deal with. They're not used to that dog days of August of 162 game regular season schedule of that intensity, of that level of competition. So getting them to stay the course that entire season and getting them to handle and manage rough stretches of a 5-game losing streak, 6-game losing streak, getting swept on the road in Seattle to a team you shouldn't get swept to, and still being able to get back right on track.
How many rookies did the Rays have this season? Like 30, something like 19? I don't even remember the numbers. It was stupid. It was a stupid number.
The amount of pitchers in rookies.
100 wins, 38 pitchers. I remember that. 38 different pitchers. So, I mean, or 19 rookies maybe. Like that's ridiculous. Yeah. And you're able to get 100 wins. Good for you. Good for you.
Can I also say this? Just because we're having this manager discussion, I usually don't really care about other organizations' managerial hires, but I feel like the teams that were searching for a manager made pretty solid hires.
Do you think so?
I think Buck Showalter is a really good fit with the Mets.
Yes.
Mark Kotsay, beloved figure with the Athletics.
Good one.
The Padres.
Yes.
Getting a guy who knows what he's doing in Bob Melvin.
Yeah.
I think there's some solid. I think teams are starting to figure this thing out.
I love Buck Showalter with the Mets. Love that, because just like that big media market that is New York in the Bronx, it's going to be the same thing in Queens too.
Yes.
Okay. It just has a little bit of orange in it.
He's done the big market. He's done the big personalities. He brings credibility.
That clubhouse needs a bulldog to be enough.
And Showalter's that guy.
Quiet.
They don't need a Mickey Callaway, okay?
No, that's a lot of shenanigans.
Yes.
And shenanigans.
And that's the thing is, like, the Mets, as much of a dysfunctional organization that they are, it's like we need a normal person in here. They found it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And you know what? Good for them, because when you're spending the type of money that Cohen wants to spend, you need to kind of protect that. And you protect that by having a guy that can handle a clubhouse. I'm
also protected by just ordering boxes of Built Bars for the roster.
I mean, I think that would make your clubhouse gel better, because everybody would be very happy that they have something that's healthy and delicious too. Why are they delicious? Because all Built Bars are covered in 100% real chocolate. Yes, those puffs that are marshmallowy, those are also covered in 100% real chocolate. All Built Bars are low calorie, high protein. You can replace your candy bar with these because they are better. A typical candy bar can be anywhere from 200 to 300 calories, when Built Bars are usually from 130 to 180 calories, 4 grams sugar, 4 grams net carbs, and 17 grams of protein. you've got to try Built Bars. And how do you try Built Bars? By going to built.com. When you go to built.com, you can use promo code LOCKED15 and you get 15% off your Built Bar order. So today, go choose mint brownie, coconut almond, maybe the chocolate cookies and cream flavor, and then use promo code LOCKED15 and get 15% off your order at built.com.
You can also, in addition to saving time and money at builtbar.com, you can also save time and money when using Rock Auto. Why choose to spend 30, 50, even 100% more for the same parts from a chain store or car dealership? It just doesn't make any sense at all. So that's why you have to go to rockauto.com. They're a family business serving do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years. Their prices are reliably low for every customer, and they have everything you could possibly need: brake parts, tail lamps, motor oil, even new carpet, all that good stuff. So be sure you go explore their easy-to-use website today to find the solution to your auto part needs. And when you do that, when you go to their website, rockauto.com, be sure you write "Locked On" in their "How did you hear about us" box, so they know we sent you to the right place. rockauto.com, amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. Ulises, should we get to this tweet we saw the other day from your boy, Bob Nightingale?
Oh, that ain't my boy at all.
Yeah, he is. He's your favorite reporter of all time, Bob Nightingale. He goes, Bob Nightingale. If we're doing rankings.
Oh my God! Yes.
Reporter rankings.
Yes, reporter rankings.
That might have to be a future episode. Bob Nightingale is number 1 for you.
Oh my goodness.
2 is Drellich. 3 is Passan, whatever his name is. 4 is somebody else, and then 5 is Topkin.
Wow. Well, I'm glad Topkin made my...
4 is Zeno Saris, but he's not really a reporter.
Okay, so I'm glad Topkin made my...
Ken Rosenthal, maybe number 4.
My hypothetical ranking of
that actually
reporters.
Should be a future episode.
Honestly, yeah. Whose writing do we enjoy the most? Okay.
Yes.
Bob Nightingale.
Yes, this tweet, let me just kind of set the stage here. He reported, and again, Bob Nightingale has been wrong many a times, but this seems to be a legitimate tweet or take from him, where he wrote the 3 rule changes that MLB wants to implement: banning shifts, a pitch clock, and oversized bases cannot begin before the 2024 season unless the union agrees. MLB wants those rules, those 3 rules, banning shifts, pitch clock, oversized bases, to go into effect in 2023.
Pitch clock. Love it.
I agree.
Do that now. Do that now. This time that they're talking about the CBT and the CBA with all this stuff, which is very important stuff, and the pool, the pre-R pool, everything like that is very important. Also, talk about how you can make your product a little bit more,
action, packed and quicker.
Yeah, like like you said, in a past episode, there's a lot of options when baseball isn't on. So when baseball is on, try to make it as entertaining as possible. And I don't mean to make a charade of the game that we love.
Yeah.
No, like the game itself is good, but like you have to adjust when there needs adjustment to be made.
Yeah. If I'm waiting 70 seconds between a pitch, I'm out. I'm done.
When you have pitch clock, and like, I'm sorry, unless you make contact with the ball, like a foul ball, you should not, as a batter, get out of the box.
I agree.
You didn't make any contact. You didn't swing at the ball. You stay in the box. Oh, there's a foul ball? Okay, fine. Take your breath. Your obliques might be a little bit twingy. Your wrist, whatever, your fingers. Okay, fine. But you have to speed the game up. A pitch clock would be fantastic.
I agree. And you could also tie that in with the 7-inning ball games. That'd really make things quicker. But
Gross.
Yes. Okay. So we're good on the pitch clock. The oversized bases.
That's kind of bush league, but I accept it.
I like it because I do think it's going to bring more action and activity, more teams trying to take that extra base, more teams trying to
how much
steal
bigger
bags. I don't know the exact dimensions. They may that might be the thing, is they're still trying to figure out what that is going to be. And then also puts, again, more throws from the outfield. it puts a premium on, hey, you better have a catcher that can throw and throw accurately and efficiently. So I like the fact that I love the stolen base. I love to see that type of activity. And I think if this is kind of, it's a little quirky, but I don't, these bases aren't like that. Like if you're watching on TV, I don't know if you notice it or would notice it that much. It's like they talk about bigger bases. I think there's some people have an impression of like, oh, these are going to be huge. Like exactly, the size
softball ones, the softball.
Yeah. So it's going to be, to the naked eye, you might not really notice it unless you're really involved in the game. But what you'll notice is more teams being aggressive.
And that would be great. Legs. That would be great. If that's like an actual consequence of making the bases bigger, I'm all for that. I guess I'm in that camp, like you said, of in my mind's eye, I'm just imagining them being just these ridiculously big bases.
Yeah.
That's probably not going to be the case. And I agree with you. If it's a change that it's very subliminal to the naked eye, then okay, I think that would be good. And yes, I agree. That would change the game to what we want to see. I want to see more hustle doubles. I want to see more base stealing. I want to see more hit and runs, first and third. I want to see that. That's the aesthetics of the game that we love.
Yeah, more bang bang plays. Although unintended consequence, you might have to get more replay reviews if there's more.
Sure,
so you might negate all this. The games might be longer. You might get more action, but the games might be longer too, in a sense.
It's true, but you know what? Actually, why I first said I would be okay with it, not because of any of this stuff. Actually, it would be because you would be preventing ugly ankle injuries.
Yeah, that's true.
And I know that didn't happen in the World Series, but it very well could have with Max Fried in Game 6 of the World Series last year. The stepping on the ankle, that is very, very dangerous from runner to pitcher covering or first baseman if he doesn't stick out.
Honestly, what they should do is just have that extra bag, the safety bag, like they do in beer league softball.
Yeah,
they have 2 bags at first.
I would just rather them just have the bigger bases. That's why I'm like, okay, just prevent, but don't make make the thing. Yeah.
Banning shifts.
This one I have a tough time saying I'm okay with it. I get it. Aesthetically not pleasing to the eye to see just like a weird,
I actually like it. I like the idea of you have a pitcher and 8 defenders, and you can set those 8 defenders between the lines wherever you want.
It's up
you
to
can
me.
Play that game. And if you want to have 4 outfielders, go for it. If
you want to bunt.
That's why I hate the banning shifts thing.
Okay, so we're on the same page. Like, don't like the hitter could do something else. And I know it's very difficult to go the other way.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay. Can you push it the other way? Can you bunt a la Brandon Lau when he's struggling?
Yes.
Like you have. Okay, you. It's
improve your play
prerogative.
Discipline, maybe.
Yeah. I don't like the whole banning shifts conversation. I really don't. They were doing shifts to Ted Williams.
Yeah.
Like it's not a new age thing.
We can't be introducing this rule because Joey Gallo's upset. Okay?
Exactly. Thank you. Or because a small market team started really utilizing the shifts, and then they became really, really good. Oh wait, I know who they're talking about, and then you don't like them.
If it's about pitchers being too good and so far ahead of hitters, would you rather they slightly move the mound back?
No, okay. I have a better situation to fix this shift thing.
What is
it? And this is tough to regulate because innings could go long. But what you could do instead of banning them is put a limit on them. As in for this inning, you get 1 shift.
I could get on board with that.
Who's going to be your shift?
And who knows? Maybe there is more to this. Maybe banning shifts isn't and
no more shifts.
Yes, I think that. I mean, Bob Nightingale only has so many characters in his tweet here.
Yeah.
So I could get on board with that.
Maybe something like that.
That might actually be interesting, and just trying more of a gamesmanship or trying to figure out more of a strategy thing of who are we going to use the shift against in this? Are we going to do it against the leadoff hitter?
Yeah.
What are we going to do here? I like that.
So,
but I think the idea of banning shifts outright I also think it's a slippery slope of, okay, so 0-2 count, you can't throw a breaking ball. Are we going to introduce that rule? Like, how far are we going to go with this thing? And I just again, you look at other leagues, football, you can do man-to-man, you can do zone, you can have a 3-4, you can blitz.
Yeah, nobody's telling you how to defend. That's
you
your
cover
prerogative.
One, you want to do cover 2, you want to do cover 4, you want to double cover a guy. Like you want to have 8 or 9 men in the box, you can do that. You're in a way they're shifting there.
I pay my taxes. Yeah. I want to defend however the heck I want. I'm a grown man. Gosh darn it.
Basically, I like it.
Yeah, no, I would be against banning shifts, but I would be intrigued if, for example, you're Kevin Cash. You're at the Bronx. You need this W. Anthony Rizzo comes up, and then Joey Gallo. Who do you do the shift?
Good point. Probably Joey Gallo, because it just totally warps his mind. He can't.
And after that is Giancarlo Stanton. Like it would be, I think, a really cool way of introducing a new strategy. Yeah. Also into the fandom, like, oh man, why did he shift against Gallo?
Yeah, that's good. Although, I mean, the answer is always shift against Gallo.
Yeah, but regardless, yeah.
The other thing too with this is where I guess there would be demarcation lines of, okay, the third baseman can't go this far over, or
no, it would just be, I think, like
no. I mean, if they're talking about banning the shift outright,
I think the number would be second base, like the infielders, 2 infielders to the left of second base. So like you can shift, but up to that line of demarcation would be second base.
Yeah, okay. I get a little bit more on board with that, but I still like the idea of being able to you have those 8 defenders plus the pitcher, put them where you want.
What you could do, Kevin?
What's that?
You could shift the third baseman down to the left field. The left field goes to center field. The center fielder goes to right field, and then right field kind of plays a short right field.
A rover?
A short right field. And now you're still doing the shift, but you're not touching the second and shortstop. So you still have 2 infielders to the right of second base and 2 infielders to the left of or one, you don't bypass the maximum of infielders to either side of the second base.
Yeah. I think we should put a poll up on the banning shifts thing. I would like to see
let's do that. Yeah.
Because I know that the listeners were overwhelmingly negative against the shifts in their comments, but I would like to see a poll. And
yes.
Find a guess, probably like 80% at least would dislike or they wouldn't want banning the shifts.
Wow, that was.
Did I?
Okay. Would you like to see MLB banning the shift? What would be the percentage? Yes, and what would be the percentage? No.
No would be like 80-85%. People want to watch. If you're a Rays fan, particularly, you want to have that ability to have your team shift.
I agree that the majority would say no, but I don't think it would be like that. I think this would be 65 to 70%. But Kevin, we've run long enough.
Yes. Good episode. Solid. All right. That wraps up this edition of the Locked On Rays podcast. Thank you for making it your first listen every day. Now make your second listen the Locked On MLB podcast. That is also free and available on all platforms. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you later on this week.